Hi and welcome to this week's edition of Bitrix24 Live. My name is Andy and I'm a support manager here at Bitrix24 Gold Partners Interface. So a little bit about us to start off with. As I mentioned, we're a gold partner of Bitrix24. We're located in the US, in the UK and in the UAE. And we offer a full range of services related to Bitrix. We solely focus on Bitrix. We don't do any other projects other than Bitrix24 projects. And we offer pre-sale support. So we have a team here who can assist you with ensuring Bitrix24 is a perfect fit for your organization. So if you've got any questions to make sure Bitrix is going to work for your business, then we can certainly arrange an online demonstration to go through those points with you. We also offer implementation and installation services. So things such as if you're looking for an on-premise, if you buy a license through ourselves, we can install it on a server, whether it's a virtual server or a server in your office for you. We also offer implementation, so we can make sure that Bitrix gets off the ground quickly and easily and quite efficiently in your business. Make sure people are onboarded correctly and using the right areas of Bitrix. And then we offer licensing, and we also offer premium support services as well. So things such as ticketing support, live chat support, telephone support. We offer all those kinds of channels to raise questions. We can do screen shares with you to make sure that you're on the right path inside Bitrix. So we offer a full range of those different types of services. So those are our details on the screen. Do get in touch with us if you do have any questions at all with your local office, and then we can arrange, like I say, screen shares and things like that from there. But the point of these Bitrix24 live sessions is essentially a free hour of support. So if you've got any questions with regards to Bitrix, whether you're maybe using a module and you're a little bit confused how it works, or if you're wanting to do something that you're unsure of, then I can show you live on screen the answers to those questions. So I do have a on-premise version on my system here, and I do also have a cloud version. So whether your questions are related to a cloud product or a on-premise product, then I can certainly answer those questions. So if you do have a question, just put it in the box on YouTube and I can answer them as we go along. We do have questions that come through to us during the week. We had a number come through since our last session last Thursday, and I'm going to start off with some of those questions. So the first one was with regards to the CRM marketing module inside Bitrix. And one of the questions that we had with regards to this was the best way to create a mailing list. Now, for those of you that don't know, Bitrix does have a CRM marketing module. You should be able to see it in your left-hand menu. And through that marketing module, you can create email campaigns, SMS campaigns, you can target messengers, and you can use your telephony to send out voice broadcasting and pre-recorded voice calls. We also retarget in different ad networks. But the question was with regards to creating a mailing list. And there's a couple of ways you can do it. I'll just show you my preference of making a mailing list. It's done through the CRM rather than through the segments in the CRM marketing. So what I would do if I wanted to create a mailing list to send out for this particular month, then first of all, decide where you're going to collect the data from your CRM. So if it's leads, you can obviously create a mailing list from the leads that are on your system. You can also obviously create a mailing list from contacts or companies. But the main purpose of doing it through the CRM in creating your mailing list is the ease of defining the data that you want. So what I mean by that is in the top search bar here, we have click and search, then we have access to every field that exists within inside a lead. So it's really easy to filter down the leads that have been generated, maybe for this month from a particular source, what they're called. And you can see in here that we have all of the fields and even custom fields. So we have tags. I think we could discuss that last week. So get the fields that you want to create a mailing list from. So it might be that we have everybody that's been tagged CRM and projects. Click on search. That then provides me with a list of 2 leads. So obviously data in our demonstration site, we haven't got thousands and thousands of leads, but if you did, you can still create a mailing list from that data. Click on the checkbox at the top. That will select everything up on there. Then click into add to segment. So you can see add to segment here. If you have a pre-existing segment, and a segment is a mailing list inside Bitrix, just to make you aware. So if you use things like MailChimp, MailChimp has lists. Bitrix's version of a list is a segment, just so that's clear to you. You can create a new segment, so your new mailing list, or you can add to a pre-existing one on here. So if I clicked on create new, click on apply, you'll be able to see a little notification pop up in the top right hand corner that the lead segment has been created. And now if I go back to the CRM marketing here, go to segments, you can see here we have a lead segment June the 4th. And it's as simple as that. So you can then rename it, you can call it whichever you wish, and then you can use it through your campaigns. So that is how I would recommend to create your mailing lists inside Bitrix. An example one, you might have a CRM form that people use to subscribe to a newsletter. So you could filter out your leads in the CRM for that particular newsletter form, and then you can create a mailing list and add to that every month. So instead of when I created a new segment, but you can add to an existing one, and that tends to be what we do. So if we get another subscription to our newsletter, then we're going to add those new contact details to the pre-existing segment in here. So hopefully that answers your question with regards to creating mailing lists in Bitrix. That is what we would recommend to do. So I'm glad the live sessions help a lot. How can I make the Bitrix page? How can I make a Bitrix page that by an API get the contact data from another system? So it might be quite a little bit difficult to answer on live, because we're probably going to need to go a little bit technical, but a simple way that you can get data out of Bitrix and get data into Bitrix is through the use of webhooks. So Bitrix has webhooks, you can access them. So I'm on a cloud here, it's exactly the same. You mentioned that you're on an on-premise, it's exactly the same as an on-premises too. So click into applications. Once you click into applications on here, then you can see webhooks. And what you're wanting, if you're wanting to get data from another system into Bitrix, then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to create an inbound webhook. So creating an inbound webhook in here, so if I click on inbound webhook, this will give you access, so an authentication, a unique URL to post data to Bitrix. So if I give this, I'll just leave it as REST API external access. If I then click into CRM, so that's then going to allow us to, and then you can see here we have this unique URL, and it's got this code, and this is what allows it to authenticate. Now once you have this, then you can make different calls. So if I go to Bitrix24 REST API, go in here, go into the REST API on here, click into CRM, and then you'll be able to get the, if you wanted to add a contact into Bitrix from another system, you can post to that inbound webhook using the details and the parameters that you can see in here. So we have an example. Maybe get in touch with us. I'll put our contact details up on a little bit later on in this session again. But we have an example of a webhook that you could use. You would obviously have to create your own inbound webhook, but you would need to append a particular string. You do it in a particular way. So CRM contact add would be the method, and then you would question mark fields, and then the name of the field in square brackets equals, and then the value that you're posting from. Get in touch with us. Like I say, I'll put our contact details up a little bit later. I'll be able to send you an example, and then you can test posting to that particular inbound webhook and see if that's creating the contact that you need. So yeah, that's best how you do it. The alternative, if you wanted to post out of Bitrix, you can do so via an outbound webhook. So that is the best way to do it. After that, you can then, if you don't want to use the webhooks, you need to essentially create endpoints in Bitrix and using some of the API documentation. We do have a little bit more documentation than what's on that particular page, but yeah, it is possible what you're asking for. I struggle with setting up CRM fields like I want them and how them apply to past created CRM clients and leads. Then I want them to apply to all leads deals on both pipelines in deals. You shouldn't have too many problems with that. I mean, if you're creating CRM fields, so if we go into the CRM, I think I might have explained the way I do it. It's might be a little bit different to the way some people create custom fields. I know you can create them if you click into a lead, for example, and click on add field. I particularly like, and I've just done it from the beginning, to add fields in the custom fields section of the CRM. It just allows us then to see what has been created before to ensure that I'm not duplicating them. So let's add one into a deal, just because it's a little bit different when you do it with pipelines. So if I click on add, and let's just call this Bitrix24 live date, and then we'll have a date field, and then we'll click on save. So that will be our Bitrix24 live date. That's a custom field that we can now use. Now, if you're having troubles with showing them from the past, I mean, all you need to do, really, deals are a little bit different because you essentially set up a deal card, and what I'm referring to a deal card is when I click into a deal, the information that's on the left-hand side here, I would classify this as the deal card, so the thing that holds the static information. If you scroll down, make sure that you're in common form view, and then click into here, and we can click into Bitrix24 live date. So if I click into there, click select, in fact, it will be on show always. Now if I go into any other deal in this particular pipeline, then it's going to show. So there won't be any, that's basically fixing it in that position for every deal that's in this pipeline. So any old deals, that field will show. Any new deals, that field will show. However, if I was to switch pipelines, so I'm in Bitrix24 after sales at the moment, if I go into another pipeline here, then it doesn't show, because the reason why it doesn't show is that you can set the layout of your deal card on a pipeline by pipeline basis. So and that's a really powerful tool in Bitrix, because obviously your pipelines might be for specific opportunities related to that pipeline. So I'm in the Bitrix24 add-on opportunities pipeline here, which is going to focus on training and support, those kinds of opportunities. We need the details on this left-hand side to display. So if I go into here again, you can now see Bitrix24 live booking. I would need to bring it in here. And then again, every deal that I go into on the Bitrix24 add-on opportunities pipeline, it's going to show on that too. So that should work for you. I mean, if it doesn't, then, well, it should work for you. I don't see why there's any reason why. As long as you're in the common form view down here, once you set it as well, just make sure that you click on the little gear icon and just click on Set Common Form View for all users. Then that will push it out to everybody that's seeing it. Obviously, you have to be an admin to set those up as well. Maybe that's an issue. But doing that within deals in each pipeline, doing it on a contact, doing it on a lead, you should be able to see it on all past entries. If you don't see that field, I'll just explain one more thing about this, is that Bitrix will hide fields. So if I added this field in here, and let's just deselect Show Always. Bitrix will hide that field in the background. I will be able to access it. I'll show you how to do that in a moment if it's empty. So by default, Bitrix will hide empty fields. It's only when I go into change, so change is essentially editing this particular section, scroll down and you can see here Bitrix24 live booking. So if I click on Show Always now, click on Save, Show Always allows you to see empty fields. And the reason why you would do that is because you can click on the empty field and add the entry into it, rather than having to click on Change and then editing it that way. So it might be that you just, some of your old leads or your old deals aren't populating that field. Just click on the gear icon next to it, click on Show Always, and it will always be fixed there, whether it's filled in or not. We had another question that's come in just with regards to the list view and the Kanban view. Okay, so if we go in here and look at this list view. So I'm in a list view of a deal here. And the question was, I want to be able to see specific fields in the Kanban view. And you can do that now in Bitrix, which is fantastic. It's quite a new release, and I'm going to show you in a minute how you can tailor the Kanban fields, and I'll show you what I mean. The list view, it's always been quite simple. It's a grid of data. You click on the little gear icon here, and everything highlighted in blue are the column headers in your list view. What you can do now, though, is you can tailor the view of your deal card. So if you go into here, the little gear icon, click into Kanban settings, and now you can configure the fields that show within the Kanban card. So click into Configure View Form Fields, and you can see in here that I might want to have probability showing. I don't know if I've got any fields that are populated with probability, but if I click into here, there we go. The probability field now shows on here. So does the type. This has been long awaited for quite a lot of our customers to be able to display and show which fields you want to be showing on the Kanban card. So it's in here, click on Kanban and click on here. If you want to do a quick deal, these are the options on here. This is also now tailored. You can click on Configure the quick create form fields and add and show and hide the fields that you don't want. So this is a vast improvement that's been released into Bitrix quite recently, and it is one of the most common questions that we get, especially when I do training. I do training every week with our clients, and they always ask, is this coming yet? Is this coming yet? And it finally has been released. So Kanban settings, configure view form fields, and click on here so you can see. And you can also pull in your custom fields, which is fantastic. So you might not want, so if you got lead warmth, we can put that on there if it was populated. So that's how you tailor the Kanban card for deals. Exactly the same, I do believe, in leads. Let me just double check. Click on Kanban, Click into here. Yeah, we've got exactly the same ones on here. Configure view form fields and configure create form fields. So again, we're tailoring the cards that the people are using and seeing within this particular view itself. Yeah, you just mentioned that you'll use the custom field section. Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. You should be using that. It just helps you just to see what fields have been created previously. I'll just put our contact details up on the screen. I know you mentioned about the API. Do drop us an email either to andy@intraface.com or sales@intraface.com, and I'll just send you a little bit of an example, just so it's quite easy for you to see. So for those of you that missed the very start, we are Intraface. I'm Andy, and the support manager here, and we are gold partners of Bitrix24. So we have got a few more questions that came through during the week, but I just want to point out for those of you that are interested in new features inside Bitrix, I'm not too clued up on this just yet. I've not gone through the training myself to start using it. But if we go to robotic process automation, so this is now being released into Bitrix on the cloud version and on the on-premise version. And what it allows you to do, it allows you to create a process based on the stages that a particular element goes through. So what you can do, if I just click into one example that we have here, is pretty much like when you're in a project or you're in task automation or lead or deal automation for that fact, is that you can create your own stages. So we have start, approval by supervisor, approval by chief accountant. And what we have is when we click on plus, we have our own form that we can customize ourselves. So it's pretty similar for those of you that have been using lists inside Bitrix. It's taking the lists idea, but moving it into a stage-by-stage Kanban approach. You create the form yourself, so have a think about what you would want to submit. Once you've submitted it, then it will follow a process going through the stages. And once it hits those particular stages, you can perform specific automation rules on them. So if I go into our automation rules here and then click on approval by chief accountant, let's just say for example, and then you can see in here we have approve or decline automation rule. Click into there. You can then specify who approves the original request. So somebody comes to it, fills in the form, it then goes into approve by chief accountant. We would set in here any particular people, so we could just hard type in a chief accountant. So if Jack was the chief accountant, we could have Jack approve it, or alternatively we could set it to the employee supervisor. So that would be therefore based off the company structure. We've been through the leave workflow management a few times on these sessions, exactly the same way, but it's just a nicer user interface on this. And then you can specify in here who it goes to, what happens when it gets approved, and again you can see here move to stage approved when it gets approved, and then that would therefore move it here, and then we can trigger some more automation rules off on here. So again, I'm not too familiar with this at the moment. It is something that we're going to be covering on one of our webinar sessions solely. We do have a business process webinar that comes around every 5 to 6 weeks. And we're going to add this to that particular webinar because, like I say, it is a new area of Bitrix. You can see the Kanban view here, but you can also see the list view as well. Okay, please keep your questions coming in. Let's see what else we've got in here. I've got a question. I'm not 100% sure what this is referring to, but we do try and answer every question that we get through during the week. How do I embed CRM links into my own website? So I guess by CRM links into my own website, the only way that you can embed anything from the CRM into your website is through the CRM forms. So if you go to the CRM and you go to CRM forms here, and if we go to add new form, fill out your form. We've created many forms during these sessions, but once you've saved that form, it comes into this area here. Then you can just click on embed code. You copy that code in here, and then that embeds into a page on your website. If you're using a website, something like WordPress or something similar, just install, I think it's one of the code snippet plugins on WordPress, and then you can paste that into a code snippet and use the code snippet shortcode within your site. Because I don't know if we get a lot of questions about WordPress sites and how you embed into one. That is the most common way and the easiest way to do it. So use a plugin that allows you to include code snippets, and then use the shortcode of that code snippet and put it into, for example, your contact page. And that will allow you then to display your CRM form on your site. The other way to integrate with your website is obviously website widgets. So if you're wanting live chat, WhatsApp, inquiry forms, callback forms as a website widget, then you go into the CRM, click on website widgets here. And if I just go to our site, just as an example of what I mean here. So you can see, if I click on close, and then we have our website widget here. If I click onto it, you can see who's online, it's live chat. This widget here is all based from the website widget on here. So you can see we have a live chat widget on here, and if you click into edit, then you can specify some of the different criteria. We can have Facebook Messenger on it, website forms, callback forms if you wanted. So that's another good way. And once you're happy with all the settings, click on embed code, copy and paste it into the footer of just before the closing body tag. Click on paste it, and then it will appear on every page on your site. So that's how you would integrate your different tools to generate leads. Essentially what I've shown you there, CRM forms and live chat are a perfect way of generating leads from visitors to your website. How can I customize reports to show daily production of call activity by disposition and by agent? So I guess I'm trying to think the best ways to do it, and also can see a daily activity dashboard on lead and deal stage status. So I'll just show you where these are. So the way that you would do activity, I would guess, is if you do go into the CRM and click into activities, then you do have this area where every activity that gets booked inside the CRM is visible. And it's all about filtering. So when we were mentioning filtering on the lead side of things, it's all about filtering in here too. So you obviously can, if I wanted to see all the calls that have been scheduled in Bitrix, and you can also do incoming if you do have telephony set up. For Mac Smith, so again, you can find the responsible user, and with a start date is when it was actually created. So let's just say this week, last 7 days, and we could say not completed and completed. If I click on search, that will then give me a list of all the calls that Max Smith has created in and completed in the last 7 days. Obviously, we don't have too much data in here. If you wanted to save that, then you click on Save Filter, and you can save it to be used over and over again. So if I was to look at today's calls, meetings this month, it will provide you with a list of data on there. So that provides you with a total number. So that's one way of getting the data that you need, and you can switch it between different types of activity, from calls to emails to meetings. Bitrix also has the activities under My Reports. So you've got My Activities. So again, this will, I think we've been playing around with this a little bit of time ago. But current month, what you can do here is you don't have too many fields in here. You have the person responsible and the reporting period. Click on search and that's what you get. I'm looking for a report that will show quantified data versus the actual calls. Yeah, I guess we'd have to look into how you would do that. I'm not sure. I'm just showing you the default reports that come with Bitrix. It might be that I'm just showing you the areas. It might be that you can click on Add Report in here and find the data for your activities within here. So you can obviously select any kind of call types within here. You can select grouping by employees and the number of activities. So you can do that within there. Probably need to have a rep indicator in a field that you can add it into a call activity report. Yeah, I'm not too sure on what you're trying to pull out of here. So again, try and get these questions in before the live sessions, because it does allow us to do a little bit of research and show you on the call. So yeah. But yeah, you can do that. So activities in here, there's My Activities in CRM Analytics, and then you obviously have the ability to add the reports in here for activity 2. So this gives you a little bit more of a breakdown of what you're wanting to achieve. So if you scroll down, you can see we have a meetings report. Click into here, click into edit report, and you can access things that are solely related to activity within here. So those are your 3 locations. Is there a limit to the file size when I upload documents? Good question. I think in the on-premise there is. So you can set the max upload size in your INI file. So you can set your max upload based on your PHP settings. I'm not sure if there is a limit on a cloud. I've not come across one before. Let's have a look in the CRM settings. Not CRM settings, sorry, the system settings. Let's have a quick check. Yeah, there's nowhere in here. So I don't believe there is, but I know you can set it if you wanted to on the on-premise version of Bitrix. So again, those are our contact details. We've only got a couple of questions remaining from what's coming in the week, so please do ask. The session will end when the questions end. I'll show you a couple of different areas though. I think we're using one of the areas that Bitrix has recently updated again. So for those of you that have been using the knowledge base inside Bitrix, then the knowledge base essentially allows you to create an area where you can upload articles to. So if we click on this interface one, click on view pages, you can see here we have a training and implementation one that helps us with a bit of information about support, a bit of information about licenses and things like that. And what we found useful, for especially for ourselves, if people are working inside the CRM, they want to quickly and easily access this kind of information. So it might be that somebody calls up and asks, oh, how much is your annual support? Or how much is a Business 50 license? Now, if you don't have that to hand quickly and you're in the CRM, maybe you don't want to be having to go to the Bitrix24 drive and getting spreadsheets, or going to products and finding your products in the CRM. What we use is we use a knowledge base, and what you can do now, Bitrix have added a short link to these knowledge bases that you create, and you can select a knowledge base to show in here. We have interface products, and you can see based on here we can search for a product. So if we wanted to say Business 50, we could search for it. We also have different categories down the left hand side. So we have licenses. So again, if somebody calls up, how much is a Bitrix standard license? It's $903, it's $629. It's quickly and easily information that's at just 2 clicks of a button. The same with support. So we have different areas of support in here, and then we have the different rates for training and implementation and so on and so forth. So this is really handy for your sales team to be answering calls and getting access to information that they can quickly and easily search between. We've seen people use these not just for product information like that, but they have price lists, they have sales scripts. So if a call comes in regarding a particular product or service that you're selling, you can quickly and easily access sales scripts, so you know how to respond to them quite easily and quickly. But Bitrix have not only introduced the knowledge base quick access button in the CRM, they've also got it now within the tasks as well. So you can see here we have another knowledge base called Project Glossary. This is just the standard template that it comes with. And then we can have information about the way we work on projects in here too. So the knowledge base is becoming more and more of a critical element for a lot of our customers in Bitrix. And it just allows them to have an internal information site. For those of you that have used Bitrix for quite a long time, Bitrix used to have a wiki, and essentially what the knowledge base has done is replace that wiki. The wiki used to have a little bit of outdated tools and different methods and pages. Now the knowledge base has come and overtaken that, providing you a searchable, nicely styled and nicely laid out tool. So we just got a question just about with regards to the on-premise version. So Bitrix does have a cloud version for those of you that are using, whether it's a standard cloud, professional, CRM Plus, Project Plus, they're all, or the free version, they're all cloud versions that Bitrix provide. The question was with regards to an on-premise and how is it hosted. It's essentially hosted on either your own server. So if you've got a server internally in your office, you can put it on that. As long as it meets the minimum requirements, and we can provide those minimum requirements if you need it. But it also can be on a virtual server. So if you have a virtual server such as on AWS, if you have a virtual server on Google Compute Engine, which is what we host on. But if you want to host Bitrix Virtual Appliance, the best area to go to is this area on the Bitrix24 website. And you can see in here that Bitrix comes with a virtual appliance. And the virtual appliance can be installed on a Windows server or a Linux server, and it basically sets up everything and configures everything for you, ready to install Bitrix onto it. So it comes with the optimum environment. So it can be on a Windows machine. We would recommend Hyper-V for Windows, and on a Linux machine it's completely up to you. You can use Ubuntu, you can use Debian, CentOS, all the main operating systems on Linux work well, so you can see in here. If you're using Amazon AWS, it comes with a particular image on here as well, so you can access that on the AWS console environment. So the on-premise gives you a little bit more flexibility, the ability to customize it a little bit more. You have a control panel which allows you to configure it to your specific requirements. We have a lot of people customize the menu, take menus out, take modules out, and create custom modules for it. Is there a limit on the number of administrators that you can have on the system? On the on-premise, no, there's no limit. On the cloud, I do believe there is a limit on the free edition. I think it's only one administrator. And on the CRM and projects, I do believe again there is a maximum number of administrators. But when you get the standard and the cloud version, there's not. Is there a way to create my own reports pulling data from leads and call activity? On the cloud, it's going to be quite difficult on the cloud, I would have thought. I mean, with regards to pulling lead data, I mean, you can use the outbound webhook that I mentioned earlier. That is available, and you could push it from when a lead hits a particular stage. You can use the outbound webhooks to post it to something. The cloud version is a little bit more restricted. If you're on the on-premise, I'd say yes, definitely, because you can access the database. We have people connect, like I think it's Microsoft Business Intelligence reporting. They connect that up to Bitrix. You might want to have a look at, I don't know if you have already, I'm not too familiar, and I might have said this on a previous session of ours, but you can click into the application CRM and find out what reporting is available in there. There are, as you can see, CRM advanced reports. I don't know what these do, but if you can't find the reporting tools that you need within the cloud, this is your next place to have a look. In terms of creating your own reports, I think with activity you would struggle because you can't export data from activities. You can export data from leads, that is possible, but you can't export data from activities section. There is no export. We have created an export for it in the on-premise, but yeah, I think you will struggle with the cloud version, unfortunately. But check these out. These might provide you with a way of reporting on it. Other than that, your next step to do is to have a look at the on-prem version. Is there an API or other automatic way to upload and update the contact photo? I do believe there is. I don't know it. I don't know. I'm not a developer, but again, drop us an email, and we have in-house developers here for Bitrix who, like I say, who have a strong Bitrix background and will be able to assist with that. But yeah, you would be able to upload and update the contact photo via the API. I know you're on an on-premise, you mentioned earlier, so absolutely. Okay. Probably the last question that I've got is with regards to, can I integrate Facebook ads with Bitrix24? So Facebook ads, so yeah, Bitrix has a contact center within here, and we have Facebook lead ads. So this is associated to CRM forms that you create inside Bitrix. So click on Facebook lead ads, and click on here, and you can see all the forms that you've previously created. If you click on a form that you want to include in a Facebook ad, all you then need to do is have a Facebook ad account. You can click on connect and connect up to Facebook. And then what it will do is it will push that form and make it available inside Bitrix. Sorry, not inside Bitrix, inside Facebook. So when you're in your ad account in Facebook, there is a section where it says about forms, and then these forms will be pushed to Facebook. There is a tutorial for it on the Bitrix24 website. So if you type just into Google Bitrix24 Facebook lead ads, it will give you a step-by-step tutorial on how to do that. I can't really show you on here. I would do if I could, but I don't have a Facebook ad account, unfortunately. But it is straightforward. Create the form, connect it up, and then it will be made available in your Facebook ad account. Can I start an e-commerce site with Bitrix24? Can I connect my MTN mobile money for customers to pay from their phone? I'm not sure what MTN mobile is, but yeah, Bitrix does have a sites module within it, and they do have an online store that's currently in beta. So you can see, if you're not familiar with the sites module, then just click into online store on the left hand side. And Bitrix does have a number of templates, not as many as the sites module, and you can create your e-commerce store on here. Again, maybe simplify it as much as possible on the e-commerce store. And you can connect to different payment providers. Now, I'm not sure what MTN Mobile is, but if we click into settings and then I think it's payment systems in here, then you can add a payment system that Bitrix comes with at the moment. So PayPal, cash on delivery, pretty much like the WooCommerce options here, pay into a bank account. I think we also have Stripe. I think Stripe's in here. Yeah, Stripe. So Stripe's in here, and these are the ones. I'm not too sure on what some of these are in here. But PayPal, Stripe are the most popular, and then cash on delivery and so on and so forth. I would recommend just asking or checking with Bitrix with regards to MTN Mobile. But yeah, Bitrix does have an e-commerce aspect to it. I'd probably recommend looking at our webinar on Sell More with Sites. It will be on our YouTube channel. So if you go to the Interface YouTube channel, then you should be able to see the Sell More with Sites webinar. It's around about 30 to 40 minutes long, and it will explain to you how to set the site up. Okay, I think that's it. That's all the questions that I've got for the moment. Please do ask. We've got 10 minutes left, but if there are no further questions, then we'll end the session. As I mentioned right at the beginning and in the middle, we are Interface. We're gold partners of Bitrix24. We offer the full range of services for Bitrix. So we offer pre-sale support, implementation and installation, licensing, and pre-sale support as well. Premium support service. So ticketing and telephone and things like that. So please do get in touch with us if you need any assistance with Bitrix. That's all we focus on. We don't focus on any other product other than Bitrix. And I think a couple of you today just might want a couple of examples, especially with the API. I can certainly send you a couple of examples. So either drop an email to sales@intraface.com or drop me an email at andy@intraface.com, and I can answer and send those over to you. So hopefully you found that useful. I'm here every Thursday at 10 AM Eastern Time. So please do get your questions in beforehand and I'll be able to answer them. So if anybody's got any further questions, do let me know. But other than that, I'll leave it there. Bye for now.